to another episode of Touring the AFC South. I am your host, Mike Patton, and on this episode, we're going to review the week that was in the AFC South, week 4, and get you ready for week 5 in the AFC South. Now, of course, there were some things that shocked a few people. There were some things that didn't shock a few people, and there were just some things that just that happened in the AFC South in week 4. And we're going to start with that, and we're going to start out talking about the Houston Texans hosting the Tennessee Titans. And I had the pleasure of actually traveling to Houston to watch this game in person in media. First of all, I got to say, enjoy the stadium in Houston. It's definitely a huge stadium. Definitely it's nice. It's nice. It's nice. One thing I did not know is, I'm thinking inside the stadium, it's going to be a little cooler, things like that. Nah, it can get just as hot in there too. And speaking of hot, boy, the Houston Texans were hot. They were all started 0-3 because they won this game 26-0. Yeah, I mean, just to go from the Titans' perspective, Cam Ward, essentially in the press conference after the game, said their offense was donkey. Yeah, we're going to use that word, donkey, because we know what he actually said. But anyway, it was an offense that did not make it past, that did not make it in the red zone the entire game. I mean, they are going against a very tough defense, but still didn't make it in the red zone the entire day. Through missed passes, receptions. You had passes that were kind of off sometimes from Cam Ward. You had assignment breakdowns in the offensive line, or just people flat out getting beat up there. Those were the things that were happening when it came to the offensive line of the Tennessee Titans on Sunday afternoon in Houston. And because of that, they could not get any consistency going. I will say the one consistent thing that has been there for the majority of the season, Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard has been consistently running the football when given chances. He's ran it pretty well. He's ran it tough, and he's ran hard. He basically ran one play. He got the ball going through the middle of the Houston Texans defense. They missed a couple tackles. He got like 10, 11 yards. He runs the ball hard. But the thing is, it's just not – everything's not all working together for the Tennessee Titans as a whole offensively. And, by far, that probably was their ugliest output of the season in terms of yardage, things like that. I think they had 175 yards total as an offense. It's not good. Not going to win many games doing that. Now, let's flip it on the defensive side. Now, I will say, Jeffrey Simmons had one of the quickest times getting in the backfield I've ever seen. He basically did a swim move. The guard went one way, or guard or center went one way, and he was literally right there as soon as C.J. Stroud got the football in the backfield. I mean, I honestly, I could not believe it happened. I had to see the replay a couple times to see how fast that actually happened. Next Generation Stats actually said it was one of the fastest times that a tackle has ever got in the backfield that quick. Just boom. It was amazing. I couldn't believe it happened. But he's been playing great football. Of course, he had the people want to say, hey, he did this in Denver or whatever. Anyway, he has played hard. He has played some good football. And he is by far, to me, he is their best player on the team. It is what it is. If you disagree, agree. Hey, it is what it is to you. I'm just telling you what I see. But as far as defensively, of course, man, you just some blown assignments. I don't know who are exactly blow all those assignments, but yeah, the 2nd and 33. C.J. Stroud drops back and throws it, and Nico Collins catches it over L'Jarius Sneed for 37 yards. I'm not going to repeat, anything that happened this week, but let's just say I believe Sneed knows his name at this point. But definitely was a big catch. You got a lot of other different things that happen, like the bootleg plays where the opponent is faking the run and basically the quarterback is rolling out by himself. That's 2 weeks in a row, I believe, a team has actually ran that style of play, and the Titans have had a guy wide open, or the Titans have allowed a guy wide open to catch a pass. For some reason, I don't know what's going on in those type of plays, but got to figure that thing out because it's hurt the Titans in back-to-back weeks, and other teams watch tape too. So they're more than likely going to do some of those same things to attack the Titans, as well as attacking them on the edge. No, and we're going to flip over. I'm going to talk about the Houston Texans in this game. And for me, the Houston Texans, the story of the game is Woody Marks. I mean, 17 carries, 69 yards, 1 touchdown. Also 4 receptions, 50 yards, 1 touchdown. I mean, he was just what they needed. Now, we'll tell you, at halftime, it was 6-0. Both offenses really couldn't get going. But it is what it is. But Woody Marks definitely got going. I will say the touchdown play, that was another one of those fakes where you basically faking like you're handing it off, or it was fake the handoff to a actual, I believe, a fake either handoff or a, how they do the little push pass to the wide receiver if he's coming in motion. It was a fake of that. And CJ Stroud basically hit Woody Marks in the flat, wide open, just raced on in for a touchdown by 10 yards out, 10 or so yards out. And then he, of course, ran a touchdown, ran through a few people, and got to the end zone. He definitely is a guy that I am keeping my eye on. A lot of people did not see him as a guy that was going to run the football. Saw him more as a guy that was going to, catch passes out of the backfield. But he definitely showed he can run the football to rumble, young man, rumble. And, of course, like I mentioned, Nico Collins, 4 receptions, 79 yards. And, even though they won this game, you still have some concerns about this offense. Boy, oh boy. That's all I can say. You have some concerns about this offense because looking at it, Houston Texans, it's just disjointed. It is. There's still some good things that end up happening, but, you had a missed CJ Stroud touchdown pass. I mean, you had 2 guys. You had Nico Collins and Owen Schultz, or Dalton Schultz, I'm sorry. They were basically streaking down the field on the left-hand side of the field. Both of them probably could have caught touchdown passes if it was in their vicinity. It wasn't in either one of them's vicinity. I'm still struggling to find out where CJ Stroud was throwing that football at that play. That was definitely a missed opportunity. Of course, you got missing like on the time that Jeffrey Simmons got in the backfield. You got 2 guys missing a block on the same play. Basically just people not knowing their assignments. Somebody messed up, and Jeffrey Simmons was free to go get the quarterback as soon as he got the ball. I mean, just those type of things cannot happen and did not happen last season. And it just seems like this offense is in a group, just like, I don't know, it's just in a rut. I don't know what to say about it. It just looks strange. And if they want to win games, especially if they have designs on winning this division, they can't play offense like that because defense is playing good. Offense, a little question marks there. I will tell you, though, defensively, just real quick, they can be run at. Not run around, run at. Because the Titans did that a few different times, and they had success doing so. So that's something to mention as well. But, yeah, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Colts and Rams and the results of that game. Of course, the Jaguars and the 49ers, we're definitely going to talk about that one as well. But like I mentioned, we got to pay these bills around here, and that requires a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
EBO Beard Butter and EBO Beard Wash are 2 of the best beard grooming products for men worldwide. They help promote growth, keep your beard moisturized soft, and enhance your overall upkeep of your facial hair. And with the new promo code MPAFC10, you can get 10% off of these products. Just go to www.etsy.com/shop/EBO Beard Butter. Again, that's www.etsy.com/shop/EBO Beard Butter. And again, the promo code MPAFC10. Again, MPAFC10, where you can get 10% off any products except for beard boxes. So treat your beard better today by going to get the EBO Beard Butter and EBO Beard Wash.
All right, and we are back on touring the AFC South. Now, before we get to the next section of the show, of course, talking about the Rams and the Colts, we're going to also talk about, of course, we did have a comment in the touring the AFC South inbox. Said Snead going rogue, playing press when it wasn't called. Hey, we'll see what happens, but hey, he is still a part of the team. And hey, things happen in the game. Maybe you miss a call in terms of what it changes of a defense or things like that also. So, we don't know all that happened. We just basically is what it is. Unfortunately, it did not work out. Need on some plays. All right, let's go to the Colts and the Rams game. Now, this one, 27-20. The Rams win at home in Los Angeles. I gotta say, first thing, offensively, and I'm talking to Mr. A.D. Mitchell, hey, I know you're excited. Know you were ready to get in the end zone. But in the famous words of Kenny the Jet Smith, you got to finish through the tape, my man. You got to finish through the tape. He did not. And proceeded to fumble the ball out of the end zone, fumbling away a touchdown. Can't do that, man. You can't do that. There's already a competitive room in that wide receiver room in Indianapolis. The way Danny Dimes is throwing the football. Might want to tighten that up. Just saying. But anyway, let's get to the rest of everything. Daniel Jones, 24-33, 262 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Now, I can tell you, and you probably already know, a lot of people are like, hey, well, that's the Daniel Jones we know. Is it, was it just an aberration to start the season? Do I think it's an aberration? No. I think from seeing him, he definitely is looking a little better, definitely looking like a solid NFL quarterback, and he's making plays and staying in the pocket and of course scramble when he needs to, but he's taking hits and still throwing dimes. Now I'm gonna stop using the word dimes for the rest of this segment because we will not be calling him Danny Dimes the entire time we talk. But anyway, he, the question is going to be out there in his next performance, who he plays next week, which we'll talk about later. The question will be out there. Is he the guy? That question is going to be yes. The answer is going to be yes for a lot of people when he does well. The answer is going to be no for people, and a lot of those people that said yes when he does not do well. So, in my opinion, it's somewhere right in between, where he is now and where he's going to be and what he could be for this team. And I mean, we'll see what happens, but it's one game. We're not going to hold one game against somebody and just continually hold it against them. All right, one thing that I do have to wonder though, Jonathan Taylor. I know it got a little late in the game. 17 carries, 76 yards. Maybe more JT money. Yeah, and for those that don't know, Jonathan Taylor, I call him JT money because he's always showing up and he's always worth the price of admission, aka the money, JT money. But anyway. He did his thing, 17 carries, 76 yards. I kind of was feeling, but I understand as it got later in the game, you couldn't quite use him the way you wanted to. I get it, but feel a way about that. Now, as far as the defense. Well, Puka Nacua, I'm even, I'm not even going to worry about talking about Puka and what he did to the defense, but well, I'll at least say the numbers. 13 receptions, 170 yards, and 1 touchdown. He is playing like the best wide receiver in the NFL right now. Repeat. He is playing, he being Puka Nacua, like he is the best wide receiver in the NFL. He's putting up insane numbers. He's on pace to have over 2,100 receiving yards. Yeah, I ain't stuttering. Didn't expect that from him when he was drafted as low as he was, did you? Yeah, and if you did, I need you to go play the lottery. But as far as just everything there, just hey, Puka Nakua was doing his thing. But what I will talk about is the Tutu Atwell 88-yard touchdown. Hear that, Colts DB? You cannot trip. No, you can't be tripping. Now, I'm not saying that somebody's mad or acting crazy. I'm just talking about him physically tripping on the field. You just cannot do it in that moment. He does. Tutu Atwell is wide open. There's no way Cam Bynum is catching him and strike up the band because the Rams took the lead late in the game. That cannot happen. I will tell you, this is what happens potentially when you face a Lou Anarumo offense. You get some chances, like I mentioned before. He will give you some chances, or that defense will give you some chances. The thing is, can you take advantage of those chances? The Rams did, and the Rams came out victorious. So that's what it is there. Last one we're going to talk about, Jaguars and the Rams. Yeah. Jaguars won 26-21 in San Francisco. That's a big win. I mean, plenty of people will say that San Francisco is not the same San Francisco. I get it. That is a big win. That's a huge win for a team that was undefeated in terms of the 49ers to lose at home to the Jaguars, a team that, over the years has struggled to find their way. That's big time. That's big time. Of course, Liam Cohen, he's trying to be a little big time too, walking off the field and keep my name out your mouth as he walks away from Robert Salah. I'll leave it at that. Of course, Salah had some choice words as well, and which he's since kind of said it was a poor choice of words. But boy, oh boy, a little steam in that coach's handshake line. Oh boy. But anyway, defensively for the Jaguars, Devin Lloyd. A lot of people in Jacksonville did not want some Devin Lloyd. But Devin Lloyd said, look here, they wrote me off, but I did not catch. They tried to write me off, but I didn't write back. Yeah, in the words of the illustrious poet, Geno Smith. But anyway, he did not write back, and surely, I'm pretty sure Jaguars fans are happy he didn't, because he has had a fumble recovery. That was last week. This week, 2 interceptions. Not one, but 2 interceptions. It was, of course, one of them off a tip pass. He was Johnny on the spot right where he was supposed to be. I mean, what can you say about him? He's having a great year at the right time, for those that don't know. His 5th-year option was declined, so Mr. Lloyd might be getting paid. Get paid, young brother, get paid. Yeah, that's what might be happening with Mr. Devin Lloyd. So, along with him being everything that they thought he was going to be, and just, I guess, living up to that, considering where the situation is with him and the contract. Think of this. The yards per carry the Jaguars gave up, 3.5. Yes, to a team that loves to run the football in the San Francisco 49ers. 3.5 yards per carry. It's pretty doggone solid. I know Eric Armstead, former San Francisco 49er, had a hand in that, since he is now playing full-time at defensive tackle, which is what he should have been last season. But I digress. I am not defensive coordinator, nor was I ever the defensive coordinator for the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's right. For offensively for the Jaguars, Travis Etienne. Now, I will be the first to tell you, I did not think that Travis Etienne, and being a top 5 NFL rusher for the first 4 weeks, I did not have that on my bingo card. But yet here we are, and he's top 5 in rushing. And in this game, he had a big 48-yard run around the left end. And it didn't look like anybody touched him. He just coasted on in, straight rolling. But, his game, you got to put this out there: 19 carries, 124 yards, and 1 touchdown. I'd say Liam Cohen has him back. Now, the biggest thing is going to be when he gets to the off season, are they going to pay him to continue to be that back, or is he going to wander off in the wilderness and land another one of NFL teams? We'll see. We'll see what happens. But of course, while Travis Etienne is emerging, Brian Thomas Jr. is he's there, but he had 5 receptions, 49 yards, no touchdowns. I don't know. I still feel like something's kind of off there. And maybe it's just me, but it's just for some reason I feel like something is kind of quietly off there when it comes to him. I know the risk that they were talking about earlier, but still, it just seems like something is quiet around there. But hey, we'll see what happens, is all I can say for that one. Boy, oh boy. But we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we are going to go over week 5 in the AFC South and what it has in store for us. We'll be right back.
A shift. A shift is something that happens and changes the dynamics. And that's what happened when Garrett Logistics was born. After 10 years as a sales pro in the logistics world of sporting goods, John Garrett decided to pivot to the world of freight and start a brokerage. So you're saying to yourself, why trust Garrett Logistics? Well, Garrett Logistics helps shippers improve overall workflow, along with increased on-time pickup and delivery percentages. Last-minute loads, multi-drop pickups, and more are part of the services with Garrett Logistics. They're available Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., all times Central Standard Time. So give them a ring at 615-400-8484. That's 615-400-8484, or you can email them at john@garrettlogistics.co or visit their website at garrettlogistics.co. Garrett Logistics, where the motto is, it's not just freight to us, it's your business.
All right, and we are back on touring the AFC South. And like I mentioned before the break, we are going to talk about these week 5 games in the AFC South. We're going to do like some quick previews for these, okay? Ready? Let's go. All right, first one up I'm going to talk about is the Titans at the Cardinals. Now, the Cardinals did lose James Conner for the season to a gruesome ankle injury, but, they do have a few other guys. Maybe Marvin Harrison Jr. kind of gets it going in this game. He had a rough one the other night on national TV. Caught a nice pass, though, and, well, not national TV. It was on NFL Network, or Prime. I'm sorry, Amazon Prime. Caught a touchdown pass. Looked like he was kind of letting out a little bit of his frustration or a sigh of relief. He went onto the sideline. Maybe that's a game that gets him going. But, I'm pretty sure the Titans are hoping that is a game that gets him going. But anyway, of course, it's an interesting thing to watch. It's going to be the bootleg action. Now, will the Cardinals adopt that? Because, the Cardinals, they don't do that as much, I would say. So it's just going to be interesting to see if they do that, to kind of prey on the things that the Titans have had issues with the last couple of weeks with that bootleg action, or that's that kind of just the read option fake, you're sliding out the opposite side. We'll see what happens, but that's something to watch. Secondly, you got to contain Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray can run. He don't look like it. He look like he just walking fast, but no. He's picking him up and putting him down. So you've got to contain him in the pocket, much rush if you have to, whatever you got to do, but you cannot let him loose outside, and then especially right through the middle, because you put your linebackers in a tough situation. You do that. Got to attack the edges. Now, if the Titans attack the edges, that means they're not going to be near Calais Campbell, which is very good business. That is one big man. And, the voice, the voice, how they have Morgan Freeman playing the voice of God and stuff like that. Could you imagine Calais Campbell playing that voice? Yeah, that's a little scary. But Calais Campbell, that would be interesting. If he's able to get out there, but run to the edges just a little bit more and see what happens there. Of course, use Tony Pollard, but Tajay Spears, I believe he is off the excuse me, he is off the IR. That'll be interesting to see, when he is officially, I guess, activated and how they use him when he is activated. Do they go some two back sets with Pollard and Spears in the backfield? Do they split one out and keep one in the backfield there? Or do they just rotate them one by one? Something to watch. All right. And, of course, went over that. Got to talk about the next one. That would be Las Vegas at the Indianapolis Colts. Now, I said that this game right here, he got to bounce back. That would be Daniel Jones on this one. So, this is a perfect team to bounce back against. So, clean up a few things. Don't become gun shy. Trust what you're seeing. I think Daniel Jones will be okay. Now, if he starts out there second guessing and things like that, you might have a version that you don't want, which is the New York Giants version. So, for Giants fans and for Daniel Jones in particular, I'm pretty sure that they hope they see the guy, the first three games as opposed to the guy in this last game with multiple turnovers. So, just a thought. Of course, JT, he's got to equal money. Yeah, JT got to be money. Yeah, get him the ball at least 20 times, I believe, whether it be catching the ball or running, but it would be primarily running the football because, he doesn't really catch a lot of passes. So, of course, the next one, turnovers. Every game we watched the Indianapolis Colts, there have been turnovers happen. The last game they played, there was like an eerie feeling with this. There was no turnovers, or no, it wasn't any turnovers that I can think of, and they weren't as excited about them. So, gotta pick that energy up. I'm looking at Cam Bonham. Cam Bonham, we ain't seen you dancing in what, 2 weeks? I'm pretty sure the fans, the kids want to see you do some dance on the sideline. For those that don't know, Cam Bonham is the safety, for the Indianapolis Colts. But before that, he was with the Minnesota Vikings. He did all those little dances, like he did the Usher Tick dance. You know what I'm talking about if you see the video. He did a few other different things too. I mean, it's all the time awesome every time he gets in the end zone. But, this is the game. Come on, get back in that end zone. And also, last but certainly not least, who's the defensive end that's going to step up for the Indianapolis Colts? I mean, you got a nice rotation there. You got Quiddy Bay, you got Leitu Latu, you got a couple other guys too. But who's going to be that guy? Like, hey, we need something, we're gonna call him. Like how Erica Badu said, call Tyrone. Yeah, they need to call a defensive end. Hopefully, be consistent for them. Hopefully, one of them that are there will do so. Let's see. We go over to the Houston Texans at the Baltimore Ravens. The biggest thing for me I'm keeping an eye on is, can the Houston Texans stop the run? You stop the run, you got to make Cooper Rush, if he is the starter, by the way. Nothing has been confirmed whether Lamar is out nor how long. And, certainly Cooper Rush has not been mentioned as being a starter for this week. But so I'm saying, if this reportedly happens, then, stop the run with King Henry, yes, and then make them have to pass the football with Cooper Rush. Man, get your hands ready, Houston. I'm saying I'm gonna quit joking like that, but what I will say is, Derek Stingley Jr. is out there. Just saying. Definitely got to the O-line play. The O-line play of the Texans has got to get better, because I'm a little nervous about that. And I'm not saying that the Ravens are a team that just comes in and rushes the passer and does incredible stuff, but they're solid, and solid can get you beat too. So, got to clean some of that stuff. And then, of course, X marks the spot. Woody Marks, he's doing his thing. He's probably going to come out there and do some more things for the Houston Texans against the Baltimore Ravens. It's just a matter of, does he get matched up eventually with Kyle Hamilton, which I think he'll be more preoccupied with the wide receivers. But just saying, you never know what can happen these days. Let's see. And he needs more touches, to be honest, because he's electric when he touches the football. Of course, and last but certainly not least, that would be the Kansas City Chiefs at Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, as far as the Kansas City Chiefs, Are they? Well, I'm just no. Let me go to the Jacksonville Jaguars first. My apologies. As far as the Jacksonville Jaguars, are you arriving in this game for are you arriving for your recognition or people taking you for real? Are you basically going to arrive in this game? That's something to watch, because historically there have been some moments where the Jaguars have not necessarily come through. Now, I will say there are some other instances where they have, but it's gone a little back and forth over my time here in Nashville on this earth. Next thing, keep the space. You got to keep the pace. I'm sorry, keep the pace. Because I don't know, they just have a few things going on when it comes to the, uh, you know, it comes to everything, in terms of this offense the Jacksonville Jaguars has, and the one thing they're doing is they're feeding the ball to Travis Etienne. Let's see if he's able to keep up this pace because honestly, if he does, he's on the best pace of his career. But, if he doesn't, we'll see what happens. Also, the pace of the game. That's another thing to watch on, by the way. The Jaguars, I'm sorry, the Jaguars, they could, up the tempo just a smidgen and then come back down to it because I know they're not, physically probably prepared to do all that quick unless it's 2-minute drill. Let's see. And also you have to, you know, your corners have to make a play, especially if you're the Jaguars. You got Jordan Lewis, you got Tyson Campbell. Can one of them make a play, give a spark to this defense, and maybe spark the entire night for the Chiefs at the Jaguars, and more specifically the Jaguars? Now we'll see what happens, in all this action in Week 5 of the AFC South. I want to thank you all for tuning in. You can find me, the host of the show, Mike Patton, at Twitter, which I don't call it X because the only X I recognize is Malcolm X and DMX. Well, I should throw me an X in there too, since I am in the South. But anyway, you can find me on there at Mike Patton 82. That's MikePatton 82. You can find me on Instagram and Threads at that's THA, not THE _general_MP. And you can find Touring the AFC South on all listening platforms, whether it be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, you name it, we are there. And also check out the YouTube page, Mike Patton Network. We got 3 wonderful podcasts on there. You'll see 3 different shows. Yes, 3. That's what I said. But also, of course, you can find them organized on their playlist on that page. So go ahead and subscribe, click the bell so you get all the notifications when that good show comes on that you want to see. So definitely, check all that out. Thank you all for tuning in to this episode of Touring the AFC South. I do have another comment in the Touring the AFC South inbox. Okay, I think I recognize this person. Hey, I'm excited about my show too. But yeah, definitely thank you for tuning in, everybody. Of course, go check this show out, share this show. Hey, somebody might need this show. Check out the knowledge that is being passed. Thank you all again for tuning in to this episode of Touring the AFC South. Your host, Mike Patton. We're out. Peace.